I originally became interested in Gould because my family has had a condo here since I was like 3 years old, like up by Sunday River. And I was in the weekend program for quite a few years. And I did the 8th grade program, and I just really liked it here. Decided it was a good place for me. Other things that I really liked about Gould were the academics, obviously, and the fact that you could just have everything. You could ski and you could have like a really good academics, and you pretty much do both in one day. I just really like that. Definitely my favorite thing was going to China freshman year for the 4-point program. That was just amazing because it was just the other side of the world. It was seriously as far away from home as you can get, and it was scary at first because you're being like thrust into a different culture, somewhere where it's totally foreign, but it was just a really neat experience getting to know something other than like what you're familiar with. I feel like I'm getting a pretty well-rounded education, and it's a lot more like hands-on than a lot of like the education I would have gotten at my school in my town. But and it's really personal. Like you have a really good relationship with the teachers, so you're not intimidated to ask them for anything, ask them for extra help. I also like how the history course is like designed to go along with the English course. So like what you learn about in history, you're also like reading literature from that time period or something in English class, and you can draw upon what you learn in both classes to help you when you like write papers and stuff. So that's also a really cool thing. My alarm like 6:30, 6:45, just so I can catch breakfast, which goes from like 6:45 to 7:15. After breakfast, Tuesday mornings you have room inspection, which can be a bit stressful. But and Thursday mornings we have assembly, so you just got to get all your ski stuff on, go to assembly, and then right after that you catch the bus to the mountain, train at the mountain, come back for lunch. You have 4 classes after lunch up until 5 o'clock, and then Tuesdays at 6 o'clock we have formal dinner, which is pretty cool because you just get to sit with people you wouldn't normally sit with at like your regular lunch and stuff. And then study hall from 7 to 9, and then lights out at 10. They're really informal. It's not like a formal thing. They're somewhat your friends, but somewhat like they're also still adults that you gotta respect and everything. And but they make it so that you're not afraid to approach them on anything, ask them questions, and things like that. And they're pretty good coaches. The coaches, they want us to have, obviously, like a basic understanding of our sport and where we should be. They make sure we know like the basics of jumping and of like moguls and of skiing, and before we get out and try crazier things, like before we get out on our tricks and stuff. And just having a solid foundation is really like a key thing of theirs. So we have a lot of like days where we just work on like straight airs and the bumps, and we just have sort of slow skiing to work on form. At the beginning of the year, they always make sure like everyone talks to like everyone else on campus at one point. They do a lot of things to get you integrated into Gould life, and it helps because you feel like by the end of the year you know everyone, you've talked to mostly everyone, and it's a really close-knit community, and it's great to be a part of. Well, the trampoline's great because it just provides a varied workout. Instead of skiing every day, some days we come here and we work on the trampoline. And it's like good for working on basics. Like before you get out on the hill, you want to get a basic understanding of the jump you want to do. And so yeah, it's really helpful in that way. Also, it's a lot of fun. Food's great. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's always a variety, and even if you're like a vegetarian, they always have vegetarian options. There's salad bar, pasta bar, lots of food.